Let's go on to next program. So it's icon contents of the LIVES project. It's a LIVESMILE TALK. Every year we conduct this program. It's a presentation form of program. We invite the guests and they talk about their experience or their goals and also the hopes towards the society. So it's a 3-minute presentation. Let's start right away. The first presenter is Mr. Namiki Shigehiro. Are you ready? So, thank you. Hello, everyone. This is Namiki. So today it's a nice weather. I am doing research into barrier-free areas at the university. Before, I was a scientist studying the animal or biology. And when I was in the U.S. Research Center, my disease had progressed and I could no longer walk. So if you can't walk, it's difficult to use the lab equipment. So I retired and I was hospitalized for a long period of time. And from my childhood, I'd always wanted to become a scientist. And I realized it was no longer realistic. So it was really a difficult time for me. So I did the treatment, rehab, and how to make living, and I had to apply for welfare. I had to do all that at once. It was so difficult. And then I met a lot of people, and I was able to return to the university. And I returned to the university, and I wanted to make the environment so that I could do the research lab myself. So I found out that this was a big challenge to conduct a barrier-free environment. And in 2016, Act for Eliminating Discrimination Against People with Disability came into force, and there are more students going to university. There's a lot of assistance like note-taking or use of tablets. However, when it comes to practice and actual lab work, the support is still lagging behind. So because of the barriers at the labs, there are a lot of people who give up going to the science and engineering field. But I think if you think that people with disabilities should have the same right and opportunity as those without, it's a big issue. So here, I'm in the inclusive lab. This inclusiveness is my research area. So the creating labs for people with disability, how to apply these different technologies, that's my research area. A lot of companies, NPOs, and people with disabilities and universities, we all collaborate. This is a collaboration with objectives, and I think collaboration itself has value. If you are interested, please do let us know. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Namiki. That was right on time. LIVESMILE TALK, the first presenter was Shigehiro Namiki, Mr. Shigehiro Namiki. The next presenter is Nick Watson. Mr. Nick sent a video. Nick-san, please go ahead.
Hi, my name's Nick. I'm the founder of Team Angel Wolf, which is all about inclusive impactivity. So what does that mean? We want to make sure that everyone's equal, everyone's included into the community, especially people with disabilities or people with determination, like my son, Rio. So our story with Team Angel Wolf started in 2003 with a bit of a health scare from me. When I woke up in the hospital, I decided that I wanted to do an Ironman. So an Ironman in triathlon world is a 3.8 kilometer, 180 bike, 90k, and a 42k run. And I wanted to go back to the World Championships in Hawaii in Kona. So I started to train for it, prepping for this big race, which I gave myself about 6 months. But along the way, life just got so busy. And my wife turned to me one day and said, "Have you ever thought about racing with Rio?" And I was like, yeah, why not? So in 2003, we did our first race together where I swim putting Rio in a kayak, I bike with him sat at the front, and we run pushing him in a specialized chair. And what we came to realize was how much Rio loved this, being a part of the community, racing together, but also we came to realize what an impact including Rio in racing was having into the community, which in our mind, which is super important, is all about inclusion. So Rio is being included into sport. We all had the same common goal, of which to date we have done 450 races. We've covered over 10,000 kilometers, which is the equivalent distance of swimming, cycling, running from Dubai to Australia. And every race that we've done, we've come to realize how important it is, not only for Rio, how important it is for the community, but most importantly, Rio is happy and he loves it. So what do we do? Well, as a non-profit, we want to make sure that we embrace the community, and that is everyone. Like I said, that everyone is equal, everyone is welcome in all the activities that we do. And they range from something called Wolfpack Walks, where we do a community walk. We invite other children with disabilities. We have 5 running chairs. We walk a course. And the main thing, it's a family affair. Everyone is there together, making sure we have the same objectives. The other one is something called Beach Blast, of which we get together. We have 5 floating wheelchairs, which are just magnificent. So we go to school, do a talk about our story. We invite the children down, but also there's children there with determinational disabilities, which is fantastic because all of a sudden, everyone has to help a child from a wheelchair into one of our floating chairs, and then we go and interact. So there are activities, and it's super important for us that we make sure that not only Rio's included, but every other child's included in the community, and they can join all our activities, even if it's physically with us or even virtually.
ありがとうございました。
So that was Nick Watson's presentation. Thank you so much for the wonderful presentation. Last but not the least, the third presenter is Miss Azemi Ayamoto. May I give the floor to you, Miss Azemoto? Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ayami Azemoto. I was born with a visual impairment. I cannot distinguish colors. I can see about 1 meter away, but I can hardly see anything in bright light. Today, I would like to share with you my unforgettable experience that I cherish to this day, which led me to engage in the activities I am currently involved with. In 2012, I joined the JOCV, Japan Overseas Cooperation Volunteers, as a short-term volunteer and was sent to Bangladesh. Bangladesh is one of the poorest nations in Asia. One day, I visited a village in Bangladesh, which is 9 hours away by car from the capital. In this village does not have a power supply for as long as half a day every day. The roads are not paved. So when it rains, you cannot walk on the road. You cannot go out of your house. People with disabilities in such a village, until quite recently, back then, were locked up in their houses, as there were this superstitious belief that these people engaged in misconduct in their former lives and therefore are being punished and cursed in their current lives. This kind of belief was taken seriously until a few years ago. However, local NGO staff and people with disabilities in Bangladesh spoke to the people in the village over some time. They told the people in the village, these people are not cursed and are humans just like ourselves. And it is important that we all live together as neighbors and friends with these people. They never gave up the communication. As a result, people with disabilities were able to leave the house and some found jobs that they can do and began working with the abled people. For me, this was something that was very exciting. A villager told me with a big smile on his face, "This guy, with some simple ingenuity, can do this job. He is a great joy. He's a great guy." As I listened to this story, I was encouraged to hear this story. I felt people with disability and without disability can work and live together in any kind of situation if only the society and environment changes through relentless communication. I serve as the director for the Disability Equality Training Forum, a specified nonprofit corporation. This is a training which is facilitated by people with disabilities. I serve in the role of facilitator as well. It is a training to design an inclusive organization that does not eliminate people with disabilities using a communication methodology called discovery prompted learning together with people with disabilities. In fact, 80,000 our society will become a more inclusive society. I know that it is not useless to carry on the communication with the municipalities and the corporations. Even if a major change does not happen anytime soon, I know that it is not useless to carry on the communication. I would like to continue to sow the seeds to change the Japanese society to become a more inclusive society. The experience I had in Bangladesh will continue to energize me for this goal. Thank you, Ms. Hasebe. That was a presentation by Ms. Ayami Azemoto. Thank you to the LIVESMILE TALK presenters for sharing your wonderful experiences and stories. We will hear more from the other Smile Talk presenters later.